What if I told you the secret to your dog's perfect diet isn't in some expensive bag of food, but it's actually locked inside their DNA? Yeah, today we're going to connect two massive trends in the dog world, genetic testing and raw food. And in doing so, we're going to uncover a secret that honestly, most dog owners are totally missing.
So let's just jump right in with a question that, well, it might make you a little uncomfortable. Are you feeding your dog wrong? And I don't mean, giving them scraps from the table. I'm talking about on a deep, fundamental genetic level. And the crazy part is, the answer might already be sitting in your email or on an app on your phone.
And this right here, this is the heart of the whole thing. You know that DNA test you bought maybe as a fun gift just to see the breeds? It's not just a party trick to find out your dog is, part beagle, part whatever. It is literally a nutritional roadmap. And the vast majority of us are just completely ignoring it.
And look, it seems like a lot of people are already starting to question what's in their dog's bowl. Just look at this number. We're talking about a more than 1,000% increase in people searching for freeze-dried raw dog food. That's not a trend, that's a massive shift. It tells you people are actively looking for something better than regular old kibble.
And get this, at the exact same time, 135,000 people every single month are searching for dog DNA tests. So you've got these two massive movements happening completely in parallel. And today we're going to connect those dots.
Okay, so first things first, what even is this stuff? When I first heard the term freeze-dried raw, I'll be honest, I kind of pictured astronaut food, but for dogs. Little foil packs for a dog floating in space. And that's not actually too far off.
The science behind it all is a process called lipophilization. It's a big fancy word, I know. But all it really means is they suck all the moisture out of raw food at super, super cold temperatures. And the most important part of that sentence, the key takeaway, is simple. No heat, absolutely none.
So here's how it works, in a nutshell. You take the real, raw ingredients, meat, organs, all that good stuff, and you freeze it solid. Then, they put it in a chamber, and a powerful vacuum basically turns that frozen water directly into a vapor. It just vanishes. It completely skips the liquid phase. And because it does that, it locks in all the nutrients without ever cooking them. What you're left with is a totally shelf-stable raw food that you just add a little water to before you serve it. Pretty cool, right?
And this really shows you the fundamental difference. Think about traditional kibble. It's made using this process called high heat extrusion. That extreme heat can just destroy a lot of the natural enzymes and vitamins. But freeze-dried raw, it uses that cold process we just talked about to keep all that nutritional goodness intact. It's kind of like the difference between a fresh, juicy steak and a piece of overcooked, burnt jerky. One is full of nutrients, and the other, well, the good stuff has been cooked right out of it.
Let me put it another way, maybe a little more bluntly. Feeding your dog the same ultra-processed kibble every single day, it's basically the nutritional equivalent of you eating fast food for every single meal. Now look, this isn't about making anyone feel bad, it's not about shame, but once you see the processing difference, it's one of those things that's really hard to unsee.
Okay, so that's the food side of things. Now let's get to the really cool part. This is where we connect everything we just talked about back to that DNA test that's probably just sitting on your phone. This is the piece of the puzzle that almost everyone is missing. So that breed breakdown you get from a test like Embark or Wisdom Panel, it's way more than just fun facts to share at the dog park. Think of it as a window into your dog's unique metabolic profile, something that's been shaped by hundreds, even thousands of years of evolution.
Let's just take a look at a few examples, right? A Siberian Husky's ancestors evolved in the Arctic, so their bodies are literally built to run on high-fat, high-protein diets. Or how about a Labrador Retriever? So many of them have a specific gene mutation that messes with their I'm full signal. They're genetically wired to overeat. And German Shepherds, well, they're famous for having sensitive stomachs. These aren't just little personality quirks. They are genetic clues telling you what your dog needs to eat.
So, okay, that's all the theory and the science. But what about the real world? What actually happens when people make this switch? What are dog owners actually reporting? The results people talk about are, well, they're incredibly consistent. They talk about things like a shinier, healthier coat. The kind of coat that makes people stop you on the street. They notice more stable energy levels, not those crazy highs and lows. And yeah, let's be real, better poop. We're talking less volume, less smell. And for so many dogs, those chronic allergy symptoms, the constant paw licking, the endless ear infections, they often get way better, or sometimes they just clear up completely.
Now, I have to pause here and say something really, really important. I am not a vet. This is all based on research and tons of reports from owners. But you should always talk to your actual veterinarian before you make any big changes to your dog's diet. Seriously.
All right, let's get practical. Because I know exactly what you're probably thinking right now. This all sounds great, but it also sounds really expensive. And you know what? You're not wrong. It can be. So let's actually talk about the cost, which brands are worth looking at, and maybe more importantly, what to avoid.
So when it comes to cost, it's really easy to just compare the price on the bag of food. But it's worth thinking about the long-term game here. The initial monthly cost might be higher, for sure. But the math starts to look a whole lot different when you start thinking about potential vet bills down the road for things like allergies, dental problems, and other chronic issues that can be related to diet.
Okay, so if you want to start doing your own homework, here are a few reputable names just to get you started. For the food, brands like Stella & Chewy's or Primal are really well known for being transparent about their ingredients and using high-quality stuff. And for the DNA tests, Embark is kind of the gold standard, especially for all the health information it gives you, while Wisdom Panel is another fantastic, more affordable option that gives you great breed info.
And just as important, here's what to watch out for. I'd avoid any food brand that's cagey or not totally transparent about where their meat is sourced from. That's a huge red flag. Also, be a little skeptical of any DNA test that makes crazy claims about predicting your dog's personality or behavior. And finally, be really careful with these DNA-based custom kibble services. A lot of the time, it's just really clever marketing, not groundbreaking science.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's pretty simple, actually. We use science and data to optimize every part of our own lives, right? Our fitness, our diets. It's time we started doing the same for our dogs. They can't advocate for themselves. They just eat whatever we put in their bowl. But we can choose to listen to their biology. So the only real question left is, what is your dog's DNA trying to tell you?